A long time ago, in a small village far away, lived a boy named George. His world was one of quiet hardship. He had no shoes, and his clothes were little more than rags, a shirt frayed at the seams, trousers patched with memories of better days. But within his thin chest beat a heart of unimaginable strength, and in his mind burned a brilliant dream. Every single day, George endured the 5 long kilometers to school. The dusty, stone-strewn road bit into his bare feet with every step, a constant aching reminder of what he lacked. Yet, he never turned back. For George dreamed of being an inventor. He dreamed of building something that could push back the darkness in his own home, where his mother labored by the faint, flickering light of a kerosene lamp after selling sweet potatoes all day in the market. He dreamed of building a lamp from the sun, a gift of light for her. With determined hope, he began scavenging. He sifted through the trash for forgotten treasures, tangled wires, the carcasses of broken radios, and batteries that had long since lost their charge. His first attempt ended in disaster. The battery hissed, smoked, and sent a terrified jolt through him as it scorched the paper on his table. His heart sank, but a flicker of resolve remained. He tried again. The second lamp refused to hold a charge, its silence a mockery of his efforts. The third one, his most promising yet, shattered into a dozen hopeless pieces on the very morning of the school science contest. The laughter of the other children was a physical blow. "You should just sell sweet potatoes like your mother," one boy sneered. "You will never make anything," another chimed in. Their words cut deeper than any stone on the road ever had. A hot wave of shame and sadness washed over George, and tears pricked at the corners of his eyes. He wanted to disappear, to never try again. But he didn't. He stood his ground, swallowing the lump in his throat. That night, his spirit bruised but not broken, he sought solace. He went to the butcher for old newspapers, devouring stories of great inventors who had also failed and failed and failed again. He poured his questions and his fragile hopes into an old notebook. He found the courage to approach the village electrician, an old man with kind, knowing eyes. "You want to learn, don't you?" the man asked, his voice gentle. George could only nod, whispering, "Yes, I want to help my mother." The old man's smile was like a beacon in the gloom. "Then don't stop," he said. "Never stop." And so, George kept building. His hands became permanently stained with grime, his eyes heavy with exhaustion, but the fire in his heart burned brighter than ever. He sacrificed meals to work, his small frame growing thinner, but his spirit grew denser, tougher. Then a whisper of fate. The head teacher announced that a rich merchant was visiting, offering a grand prize for a young inventor. A buzz of excitement filled the classroom, but George remained silent, hunched at the back, his scars and failures feeling more visible than ever. Then, his friend Maya came to him. She looked at him not with pity, but with a soft, unwavering belief. "Try again, George," she urged, her voice full of conviction. "This is your time." He looked down at his own hands, the dirty nails, the network of small cuts, and knew she was right. This was his moment. That night, with a quiet desperation, he gathered every broken piece, every discarded wire, every ounce of his hope. He worked with a focus that shut out the entire world. He connected the wires, polished the old glass, and prayed over the battery. Then he tested it, and he waited, his breath caught in his throat. The small bulb glowed, a tiny, defiant star in the darkness. It stayed on for 1 hour, then 2, then 4. A tear of pure, unadulterated joy finally escaped and traced a clean path through the dirt on his cheek. It worked. At school the next day, he stood before the merchant and the judges, his heart hammering against his ribs. After other children showed polished drawings and clever toys, George stood up, his hands trembling as he held his creation. "This is my solar lamp," he said, his voice barely a whisper. He turned it on. The room was flooded with a clean, bright light. The judges stared, their expressions shifting from curiosity to awe. The merchant approached, his eyes intense. "Where did you get the parts?" he asked. George met his gaze, his voice steady now with pride. "From the garbage." A profound silence filled the room. Then the merchant's face broke into a wide, genuine smile. He placed a hand on George's shoulder. "This," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "this is what we have been looking for." George had won. His story was printed in a big newspaper, the poor boy who built a light from trash. He was given a scholarship, a chance at a future he had only dreamed of. But the greatest prize of all was seeing his small solar lamps bringing light to the homes in his village. Children could read at night. Mothers could cook without straining their eyes. The darkness had been pushed back. In our own lives, we will all fall. We will fail once, twice, or even a dozen times. People will laugh. They will tell us to stop, that we're not good enough. The road will become hard, and our feet will ache. But remember, George, the winners in life are not those who never fall. They are the ones who, with tear-streaked faces and weary hearts, get up every single time. They wipe their tears, they fix what is broken, and they start again. You don't need money or perfect circumstances to start. You just need that fire inside. You need to keep going, keep learning, keep building, one small step at a time. Because the most powerful words you will ever say are, "I will not give up." And if you don't give up, one day someone will look at you and your struggle and they will say, This is what we've been looking for." Keep going. Keep the dream alive. Thanks for watching PastQuest. If you enjoyed the journey into history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from the past. See you in the next quest.